Hi, and a very warm welcome from my side as well. When I was called to ask to give a talk at TEDx, I was wondering what to speak about. I kept on picking topics and dropping topics until I remembered the person who called me suggested me to be an inspirational person, and that's why I should come. I was like, wow, really? So I turned to the people around me and asked, do you think I'm an inspirational person? And why do you think so? Luckily for me, the general answer was yes to the first question. And the second question was answered with, you always say yes and you act on it. You're always positive yet pragmatic. You say something and you do it. You don't think of why something wouldn't work. You just give it a go. You risk the failure. And one always sees the joy in your face. So I was thinking, why not talk about what is giving me joy in life? So here I am, wanting to make a case why it is worth embracing more than one thing in life, why it is worth engaging with communities and the environment around you. To start with, a few words about myself. I grew up in Germany. I studied biochemistry. I went on to Barcelona for my master thesis. And from there, I moved to Bangalore to pursue my PhD in neuroscience at the National Center for Biological Sciences. Now, I coordinate the Bangalore Sustainability Forum, an endeavor which discusses and fosters collaboration towards more sustainable cities. I firmly believe that we do live in a time where more attention needs to be given to the relationship of the human civilization, that is us, with the nature systems we are living in, the environment. Hence, the shift of job and the shift of profession. However, this is my professional life. And this is not what I'm going to talk about today. Today, I'm going to talk about the phrase, being a jack of all trades and a master of none. I bet all of you have heard it. And I also bet most of you don't think very positive of it. We are living in a time where we are all being taught to be the master of one, to excel at more than one thing in life. We are taught to only say yes to things if we financially gain from it, or if at least it advances our career. Or we should get a certificate to hang on the wall. How do they sometimes say, if you're second, you're actually the first loser? I am here today to tell you that, to me, the phrase, being a jack of many trades and a master of none, is a very positive phrase. I deeply believe in doing many things, whether you excel at it or not, as long as you genuinely enjoy doing them. And I also do believe that society does benefit from these kind of people. So let me tell you about a few things I do and why I do not feel bad about not excelling at them, and why I still think it's worth doing each one of them. I love dancing. I go wild on the dance floor. I swing around to the 40s and 50s. I go for salsa classes and bring the Latin groove onto the dance floor. However, I will never be able to put up a show like a professional dancer. In fact, I can't even do a double turn in salsa, which for me is a fairly complex move, because this would require a lot of time and effort and practice, which I don't do. So why do I still continue as a mediocre dancer? One thing is, I really enjoy myself. But the other thing is, I also feel that people who are dancing with me draw happiness from dancing with me. They draw happiness from someone who is enjoying themselves on the dance floor, even though sometimes slightly out of balance or sometimes with imperfect steps. So is that not enough reason to still continue? What are other things I do if I don't dance or work? Well, I'm a cyclist. I show up for races, and often I win. I don't think I will keep on winning for a long time, because luckily by now, Indian women start keeping up in cycling. There are more and more women who professionally cycle under guidance, who made it their master of one. One of them is my good friend, Samira Abraham, who is the current national champion. There should be a picture of her coming there soon. So now, not winning any longer at the races, would that be a reason to stop? For me, it is a reason to be happy, to see someone else excel at something they love. So what are other reasons to do something you're unlikely to win or you're unlikely to be best at? Coming back to cycling. Showing up for races makes you actually part of a lovely community. You know, if you're coming for these races or these cycling rides, no one cares whether you are a doctor, an IT consultant, whether you're old or young. It doesn't matter whether you're a woman, whether you're a man or transgender person. It doesn't matter whether you're German or Indian, whether you're Hindu, Christian, or Muslim. It doesn't matter whether you're vegan, vegetarian, or a biryani lover. What actually matters the most in cycling races or road cycling is how many watts can you hold for a given amount of time, how much weight is your bike, not even your own weight, and do your socks match your racing kit? So, and lastly, think of it this way. Do you really think like people like the amazing team from the Bangalore Bicycle Championship would actually organize races for 6 people to show up? Racing is a community endeavor. Even though you might like remember the names of the people who are on the podium, it's like the people who come not onto the podium who makes it a community and who makes this event worth being. So now, that's the racing bit. But I actually do care about the environment as well. I cycle because I care for the environment. And I also cycle because I care about my time having so many interests in life. I commute with a bicycle. I don't know how traffic is in Pune, but in Bangalore, I can assure you, riding the bike is the fastest and most relaxed way to get anywhere. There's nothing more joyous than riding past the stacked car line in the morning on a workday morning. So by cycling with a bicycle, you actually make a positive lifestyle choice for yourself, and also you do a service to the community and the environment, because actually you reduce air pollution, you reduce noise pollution, and it really makes me a happy and mentally more balanced person every day all over again. So that's the cycling. Now, another chunk of my time goes into making people fall in love with the ocean. Why do I care about the oceans? Because I do care about the community as a whole. Like the community including all the living creatures which are not part of the human community, but also part of the planet. How I started caring about the ocean is that I watched this movie, Oceans. It's an awesome movie. I saw it about 3 times in the theater, and I was just awestruck by about what I saw, by like the magnificent, it was a magnificent endeavor into a world that I had never seen before. And so I thought people should see this, because if people see this, then they will start being curious about the ocean, one of the most vulnerable parts and unknown spots on the world these days. And if you start being curious about something, you start paying attention to it. And if you start paying attention to it, then you actually step into action. So now the problem is like, if you don't know about all these creatures which are out there, how would you start caring about them? I have a solution. I went on with my friends and we organized the Moving Waters Film Festival, which to me is now still the one perfect example of how to engage with people the community, and the environment all at once while having lots of fun. Like I said before, for me it started with watching this movie Oceans, this magnificent trip into a different world. And I was like, people need to see this. And people need to see it on big screens. Because imagine you're seeing a blue whale like you saw a while ago on a small screen, or you see it on a big screen. So I was on a mission. I wanted to start this film festival, or rather, I wanted people to see these movies on a big screen. So what did I do? I took my enthusiasm and I hijacked the auditorium in my institute, and I started screening nature movies. But soon I ran out of content. So what did I do? I again turned to the community around me. I asked the students of the wildlife conservation studies to give me content. And they asked me, yeah, we give you content, but you have to be on the founding team for the Moving Waters Film Festival. And that was our start. There we were. A bunch of people from different walks of life, of different backgrounds, but all with like one thing in common. Creating a high-quality, well-curated film festival with the aquatic life as its sole star. We all had full-time jobs. Neither of us had ever organized a film festival. And we didn't have any sponsor or any money. What we had was a relationship with a film festival in the US. But soon it turned out that we could not afford the $300 US to buy the hard disk with content. That was our first reality check. For some people, that might be a reason to stop. But we thought, let's see whether we can use enthusiasm as currency instead of dollars. And so we started out watching movies, watching trailers for hours, for months, for days. And we kept on sending emails to all these filmmakers, distributors asking for content. Sure enough, we had the content ready. But we were like, you know, we really want this to be like an experience. We want people to not just go and watch movies. We want people to come and to engage with the content, to like remember what they've seen and to ask all the questions which will come up in their mind. So we again picked up the phone and we started sending emails to a whole range of marine experts, of journalists, and of fantastic photographers and filmmakers. And sure enough, they would come. Luckily, again, they would come and agree to come pro bono because, yeah, we still didn't have any money. So we had content and we had speakers. But what we didn't have at that time, 3 weeks to go to the festival, was a venue or any promotion material. And of course, money. No one knew about us. No one knew that it's actually going to happen. Again, our currency of enthusiasm bought us luck there as well. We approached the Goethe Institute, and in Bangalore, they had the auditorium free. And they were like, you know, Bangalore is a landlocked place. I really don't think people would want to come here and see anything about waters or the ocean. But we don't have anything lined up, so you may as well come. Luckily, right after that, a print shop agreed to print our posters. And so we had the promotion up and running, we had a venue, we had the content, and we had the speakers. But then the evening before the festival, it was supposed to start on a Saturday morning at 10 a.m. I was like, you know, do you really think people will come on a Saturday morning at 10 a.m. to watch movies on nature, even though it's free? Maybe we just like have this huge like enthusiastic thought bubble, but actually it's just us who is so interested in it. Well, what to do? I went the next morning at 10. I was the MC, so I had to show up. I couldn't bail out. And sure enough, the auditorium was full. I couldn't believe it, but on Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, the first festival, the auditorium was full. By lunch, it was that full that no one could like even sit or stand in the auditorium. And by the afternoon, the director came of the Goethe Institute, and he said, guys, I've never, ever seen this auditorium this full in my entire life. You don't need to pay any fee. You can come every year again. We're going to waive each and every fee. So this marks the beginning of the Moving Waters Film Festival, which has happened then in 2016, 17, and 18. We've been traveling to Pondicherry, to Chennai, and in the beginning of this year, we've been here in Pune. We still don't have enough sponsors. We still don't have enough money. but we do have a lot of enthusiasm with us. And honestly, what keeps me personally going is people like you, the audience, people who come to the festival and where I can see the change in their face after they've seen a movie. You know, sometimes people don't need to say it. You can really see if people are ignited or awestruck by something they have not seen in their life before. I'm still no expert in filmmaking or organizing a film festival. I'm still not an expert in marine biology. However, I still could make, and I will make, a huge and important difference to this film festival, and with this, also hopefully to the society and the environment. Besides these things, I stitch and I bake and I play board games, I play the violin, and I actually just enjoy life. So I personally have benefited from having had all these experiences, from living through all these things, and most importantly, from interacting with all these people whom I met on the way. So what you see here today, in this very moment, is an absolutely content and very happy jack of many trades and master of none. I do admit it can be overwhelming at times. And there are times, certainly, where you wish you had only one interest in life. However, I think this way of living has taken me places and has opened doors for me that I would have missed easily had I focused on one thing in life. So the message I want to leave you with today is, whoever you are, wherever you are, as long as you're open to embracing life with all its opportunities and challenges, to embrace your very own interests, you will find a plethora of sources for joy, and you will make a difference, and you will be an essential part of the society. You may notice it, you may not, but you will be. Thank you.